think Putin's going to respond with something nuclear.
Yeah, he has to. Nuclear specifically.
Meaning not end of the world like ICBM, because I mean, dude, that's you're and again, I'm going to say this. You launch something like that, it's over. Meaning everybody. Guys, humanity's done. Look at just Chernobyl, a reactor blew up, and it's still, the ground is still radioactive.
Yeah.
You drop a nuke, bro, it's over. Do you think he's going to do something that's irreversible?
No, I don't,
not?
because I think that he would only do that if he felt like they were in danger of like being destroyed themselves. Like if Ukraine was on the offensive with, like Germany and Poland and all these other countries, just like bombarding them, like the way that like we busted into Germany at the end of World War II and we're just like, closing in on them. I feel like that's the only reason that he would use a nuke, because I think he is smart enough to know that there's some degree of NATO that almost wants him to use a nuke so that they could be justified and like being ruthless with them. So yeah, I don't think he wants to cross that line and set that precedent, because that like creates a whole new world of a chain reaction. So I think he's gonna have like a harsh response, harsher than anything we've seen.
What do you think, Brent? What would be a military tactical response to? Because mind you, did anybody die during this thing, or was it just airplanes parked?
I think a few people died.
A few people died.
Yeah,
a couple. Nothing. It wasn't a mass casualty event. What does he do? What does he knock out? Because he's planning on it. If you don't think Putin's going to respond by this weekend, you're going to mark my words. By the end of the weekend, something's going to be.
Well, if he really wanted to be ruthless, I mean, there's like plenty of agriculture and energy grid type of things that Ukraine has, like where it's like their energy infrastructure is critical to the whole continent of Europe. He'd probably just like smash the was it Kiev? Or like some other critical parts of Ukraine with like the biggest thing they've sent out. Yeah, like whatever like the biggest thing aside from a nuke is, probably like hit something really important with that.
Could I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
Can I answer the last question?
Yeah, go.
I don't think I'm on the team. Nothing ever happens.
It's coming from Vladimir Putin.
But the thing is that he would have done it already.
The nuke?
Because I seen how swiftly he attacks. For example, remember when he had this rebellion? Those guys, the PMCs, that
for Crimea,
for the Wagner group.
Oh yeah, he shot the guy out of the helicopter.
Yeah, boy,
that was fast.
That was the same minute. He flipped the script.
Yeah.
And this was a few years ago. Those it was ISIS-K. They had a terrorist attack.
Yeah, I remember that. He found those guys quick.
He found them quick and he made Gruyere cheese out of them. Like immediately. And he's that type of guy. Like since the 90s, every time I've seen Russia attack, he will counterattack immediately and swiftly and with the whole violence.
So why not this time?
Well, my boss was talking about this the other day, and he thinks they're being backed up. Not on
Ukraine?
on the low key Ukraine has a back here.
Is anybody whispering to Putin saying, "Hey, bro,
And can I clarify that my boss is not Putin? All right.
Yeah, Putin's not your boss.
Just to clarify, because that taken out of context.
But here's my question, though. Here's my question: the people that are talking to Vladimir and saying, "Hey, go do your thing. We're not gonna. Nobody's gonna do nothing." Are they talking to Putin too, going, "Hey, listen, don't do nothing because you just don't do shit, bro, because we'll ruin everything."
All right. So you have the three horsemen of the apocalypse in Ukraine. What's the name of that guy? Mike Pompeo,
Lindsey Graham, and then Richard Blumenthal.
You have those three guys mucking around there, right? Yeah. And then this happens out of the blue. You know,
totally random, nothing related.
And for the first time in the history of Russia, Putin doesn't lash out immediately. All right.
Yeah, something's weird.
So something is not adding up. So I don't think it's going nuclear. I might be wrong. I hope I'm not wrong. Right. We don't want people dead.
I don't want nobody dying.
In a nuclear war?
Yeah, I don't want people dying. This is my favorite thing.
Well, he's gonna respond. I'm interested. It's gonna be like on a Friday or like a Saturday because it has to happen. Because, bro, the longer he waits, the weaker he looks.
Yeah, it has to be done within a week.
The more, like, the respect level and the fear level of Putin is getting smaller by the minute, bro. People are like,
this is such a bad situation, Vinny. To corner a guy like this with nuclear weapons What are we doing? Why don't we?
I know. Well, it's
What are we doing?
You know what? It's not we. What are they doing?
not
These
me.
Warhawk. I know. I'm saying these Warhawk, disgusting, like government officials that have defense contracts and they're consulting for all these firms. They get bro. Let me explain something to you. You know what America's really, really good at, and what we've been doing for 60 straight years, almost 65 years? War. We are a war country. We have the planes, we have the bombs, we have the soldiers, we have the technology, and we're not using shit. You have a president that was in for 2016 that said, I don't want war. I want peace. And look what they did with him. I mean, they hated him from the beginning. But the last president that said, I don't want war in Vietnam, what happened to his head? He got blown off in front of his wife. And that was the main reason. That was the main reason. Besides saying he wanted to splinter the CIA into 1,000 pieces into the wind and all that shit. He said anti-war. And the next day, the day after he got shot and killed, what were they signing? What was Lyndon B. Johnson signing? Vietnam, brother. That's what it is. Trump is anti-war. So behind his back, they're going and they're doing this little fucking cloak and dagger game. And they're doing it, and it's working, bro. It's going to work.
And he's really sad about it.
He's pissed off, Trump, because there goes the legacy. And as much as he promised, like, listen, he broke the promise. At the end of the war, day one, you lied. No, you didn't. That's a campaign promise. You didn't promise. Now it's to the point where now it's getting out of hand. Now it looks like we're going to literally get into World War III. They're pushing him. I know they are. I know they are. Well, guess what? Lay down the fucking law. You know what? Bro, if I was Trump, and I found out Lindsey Graham, Blumenthal, and that fucking prick Pompeo were there, I would put them in a room. I would put them in a room like one-on-one. I'd be like, guys, I'm telling you guys right now.
With a camera.
With the camera.
Like he did with Schumer and Pelosi. 1,000%. That was beautiful.
I'd be like, what the fuck are you guys doing? What are you doing? I want every great point. Put the cameras. I want the world to know you guys are going there and pushing him to go to war. You guys are doing it. You did it when Putin was saying, I don't want 1 inch. We promised them we're not going to come 1 inch encroach, and NATO's not going to come anywhere close, and they lied.
They lied.
And this guy's been saying,
they lied to Bill Clinton as well.
They lied to Bill Clinton too. He's like, I want to join NATO, and then Clinton them ignored him. They need an enemy over there. He's the enemy. Don't act like it's not true. I'm not saying Putin's a good guy. They're all by the way, and I'll say it again. He's not a good guy. Vladimir's not a good guy. Bush wasn't a good guy. All these people want war because war is money and war is a fucking racket. That's what it is. Okay? And I would tell them in front of the world, guys, it's all on you. And I want the world to see this. If the women and children and everybody dies and the nuke goes off, it's their fault. They're the deep state. They're the pieces of shit. And Mike Pompeo is one of the main ones. And we were looking during the podcast, how crazy was it? That we're like, is it Lindsey Graham? Lindsey Graham. And Pat and them were pushing back like, nah. And then we hear, okay, Blumenthal's there. Oh, and then all of a sudden, the CIA piece of shit is there.
Yeah.
Weird.
Mm-hmm. And it was because we did a podcast in the morning and you called it. And everyone was like, oh,
even Pat was like, no, he can't have the power. Okay.
And then we saw the contract with the money.
No, Lindsey Graham spent $412,000 on hotels. And guess who signed off on it? He did himself. Oh. He paid for his own. Yeah.
Don't mind if I do. Don't mind if I do.
He gave it in this hand and put it in the other hand.
Spared no expense on warmongers. All right. And can we say another thing?
What?
All right. What about the Chinese guys with the
Oh, they tried to bring in a weapon, some seeds.
Yeah, the biological stuff.
The biological weapon. Oh, yeah, we caught 2 Chinese national students that were bringing in biological weapons that would kill all these crops and poison our food. Oh, sounds familiar. China, COVID.
Question, though. So you ever hear that theory that the really far-right Christian people like want to bring the apocalypse, like the senators in there, that the reason they do these unexplicable things, Connor might know about this. I feel like I've heard him talk about it before.
Those are Protestants, by the way.
Yeah, whatever you want to say.
They're trying to usher in
prophecy
because they're waiting too long. Because they want the world to end.
Yeah, what's the explanation of that? Like
they're retarded. if you're trying to make something that's happened that's a theory and you're, I mean, I believe in the Bible, the end of the world, Jesus is coming back and it's going to be one of those moments. Mm-hmm. But for you to like
proactively do it.
Yeah, you're like, I'm going to do my part and push it. No, I don't know.
I mean, good for them.
Connor, just really quick, chime in.
Yeah, Connor, chime in. What am I trying to explain?
Yeah, so I think the thing you're referring to that we've talked about before, there's a lot of different groups that have, their predictions about the end of the world and all this stuff. I think what you're thinking of, there's a specific subsect of Christian Zionists who believe that, if we help Israel rebuild the temple and find the red heifer and all this other stuff, it can basically cause them to bring about the end of the world by all this stuff happening, which paves the way for the Antichrist, which forces Christ to come back sooner. It's a very obscure,
they're trying to
change
thing. They're trying to change prophecy's schedule and Jesus' schedule.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Shoot to the moon. You might land amongst the stars.
Yeah, no, the hell with that shit. So if you like this clip, click right here. And if you want to see more like it, click right here. Stay angry, Patriots.